A father is dead and a mother is charged with 4 kids caught in the crosshairs. She says she was defending herself.
But prosecutors say the evidence tells a different story. Our Brenna Kiefner's been digging into this case. She joins us live. What are investigators telling you, Brenna?
Brian and Aaron, prosecutors say they found no evidence to support this self-defense claim. No defensive wounds were on her body, and there was no documented history of domestic violence. But there were some very serious stab wounds on the victim, including one to his head. Christmas night in this Northwest Omaha apartment. 4 children are inside. Their mother and father are drinking, an argument that turned deadly.
It's very sad. When you particularly think about children on, what's supposed to be a joyous, holy day, witnessing one of their parents get murdered.
Court documents say 41-year-old Mary Yuris Velasquez Mendoza stabbed her boyfriend, 36-year-old Angel Gonzalez Sanchez, with a knife. Investigators say he collapsed in a pool of blood in the bathroom, and that she panicked, driving to a Walmart on Blair High Road, throwing the knife in a trash can. According to police, they found it exactly where she told them it would be. Gonzalez Sanchez died at the hospital. In court on Tuesday, Velasquez Mendoza needed an interpreter. Through tears, she claimed self-defense.
I was defending myself.
But Douglas County Attorney Don Klein says the autopsy tells a different story. He pointed to one critical detail.
One of the things that we look for is were any defense wounds? Was there, did she have any wounds on her? She didn't. The information from the autopsy shows that, there were very serious injuries that he had, stab wounds that he had, both to his arm and to his head.
Klein says the couple had been together on and off for 10 years. But investigators found something surprising.
One of the first questions that we asked is there's any documented history. We don't have any documented history of any domestic violence calls.
The 4 children witnessed what happened. They were interviewed at Project Harmony, a child advocacy center that helps child victims. The 4 children are now in foster care. Neighbors say they didn't know much about what happened that night. Most were away for Christmas, but they're still shaken.
There was like a domestic disturbance or something a while back, and that's all we ever heard of it. It was always just a domestic disturbance. And, there just wasn't really much about it after it happened. That's got to be just horrible.
Now, Brenna, the bond in this case is $1 million. That's not really unusual in a murder case. Were investigators concerned that she might not, though, show up for court?
Yeah, Klein said that both Velasquez Mendoza and the victim came here from Venezuela. He says there's a real concern that she could flee back to Venezuela if she does make bond. That's why they set it to $1 million. That preliminary hearing, though, is February 6th.
Brenna Kiefner.